Halloween.
Forever.
All right, here we are, Steve. Got one for you. Ready? All right. What does the cannibal eat when he's on a tight budget?
What does the cannibal eat when he's on a tight budget? Now, personally, I like to just go to Sloppy Joe's because Sloppy Joe's are a nice, easy meal. You know, it's quick, doesn't cost a whole lot.
Are you a cannibal?
No, but
Okay.
But the joke is it's a double entendre because Sloppy Joe is a person.
Oh, it's the name of a guy. Yeah. No. Nope. That's it. Think about a classic poverty item.
Oh, ramen.
Ramen. There you go. I knew you were going to get that through your softball there. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a motherfucking, not a showdown episode. This is, in fact, guys, a revenge of Halloween's Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Steve. Question mark.
Not sure. You know what? It's Sunday. So we got the scaries. Who knows who we are, guys, really, when you think about it. Guys, this is not a revenge showdown or a revenge episode for either of us. This is actually a revenge episode for our guest from last week. For those of you who did not tune in last week, spoiler alert, me and Steve botched it. Botched job. We blew it. And our guest for our Erie, Indiana showdown episode for the beautiful month of June took it home. We once again let the guests come into our house and just slap us around about the head and neck. In this instance, it was our good buddy Louie from the Haunted Hangover podcast. He did take down that son of a bitch in championship belt, threw it over his shoulder. He's somewhere strutting around New York with that. I don't think they got Giant Eagles over there. He ain't going to be able to get that discount on the chip chopped ham, but
he's at the fucking Dwayne Reed.
Yeah, he's at the Dwayne Reed. He's wherever the hell you buy your New York equivalent of chip chopped ham.
Bodegas.
Yeah, perhaps. And maybe he's enjoying what's that? No, that's Jersey. What's the ham? The weird ham. Thompson
Taylor. Yeah.
Pork roll. Taylor ham.
Taylor ham.
That's more New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah. That's New Jersey, Philly trash. Yeah.
Although I do get the distinct feeling that this movie we are about to talk about here has a lot more Jersey, Philly flair to it than it does New York. But he did take it down from us, and he did in a similar fashion as Steve did many moons ago. Louie's quote unquote punishment episode. He assigned for us to view a movie that he worked on, and so this was a movie that he wrote. And then was heavily involved in the production of. He's got a writer's credit, our good friend Louie Cortez, and then director, who his sometime co-host on the Haunted Hangover, Manny Serrano, was the director and co-writer of as well. The movie from the year of our Lord 2013 is called Blood, Slaughter, Massacre. A little redundant on the title, right? It could be blood massacre, could be blood slaughter. I don't know that it needs to be a blood slaughter and a massacre,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aren't all massacres slaughters? And I would say most slaughters, not all slaughters are massacres,
right?
But I would suggest that all massacres are slaughters.
Yes, because I guess, would you consider Jonestown a massacre? Because it's the Jonestown Massacre.
They call it the Jonestown Massacre. Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I wouldn't call that a slaughter because they were all poisoned. So you know what?
Needs to be blood.
Yeah, so you know what? Maybe it's okay to call it the Blood Slaughter Massacre because it identifies that there is more blood and that the flesh was rended. So blood. Yeah. So blood tells you that there's blood. Yes. Then slaughter lets you know that there's like rending of the flesh. So it's not just it's not just gunshots. And
or nobody's puking out blood.
Right. And then massacre is just like lets you know that it's a bunch of people.
Yeah. I would argue that perhaps blood and slaughter would be redundant in that case. All I'm saying is most of the time it does specify that it is, of course, a slaughter. But you know what? It's also a massacre. Mm-hmm. So I guess we can't fault him too much for that. In any case, Louie put this on us, and he did preface it by saying that it was terrible and that he was embarrassed of it and that it was a true punishment episode. That said, I didn't think it was that bad.
No,
I mean, is it great? No, it's not a great film by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just a fun, serviceable, a low budget slasher movie with a lot of love in it. You could tell a lot of love in it, which I appreciate. And it was not done tongue in cheek. It was dead ass serious, which I liked as well. So first of all, we are going to make fun of Louie's movie because he asked us to. But also, I do want to say, guys made a movie and it made a fun to watch movie. A little long. Don't think it needed to be 2 hours plus. It could have been a tight hour 20. Yeah. A lot of fat that could be cut off that. I'm sure he's aware. But this was made over a decade ago. So so it's all fair in love and revenge, I guess.
Yeah. This film is like no different than when we watch Blood Fart Lake or when we watch Camp Blood with the clowns. Like, it's just people who like going out there, getting it done, and they like making a movie, and then they made a movie. They got it done.
They made a dang old feature film. And yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun watch. Dragged a little bit. A little more dragged a little bit. But
it's got little issues, but otherwise, hey, you could do a lot worse to yourself. Fish piss.
You could be tasked with watching fish piss, which we were not. So, all right, we'll get to that old flicky flick here in a couple of dang old minutes. Hold your horses. We got some stuff we got to do at the top of the show. First of all, Stephen, on this fine Sunday afternoon that we're recording this sunny Sunday in June, do you got a beverage that you're partaking in?
I got 2 bevies because I wasn't sure.
All right.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna like either of them. So I just cracked them both open. I said, "Fuck it, let's go for it." But actually,
your bets.
I'm actually kind of into both of them, so I'll just be drinking these through the day. But one is from Lost Coast Brewery out there in Eureka, California.
Out in the Californies.
It's just simply called Apricot, and it's an apricot wheat ale. Yeah.
That'd be cool if it was called that and it was something entirely different. It had nothing to do with apricots.
Yeah. I would be down if it was just like a yuzu lychee for no fucking reason. Yeah.
Just a middle finger.
Yeah.
Nice beer though.
Yeah, it's nice. Like it's not flashy in any way. It's the kind of beer you'd expect to find in like 2008. Just like an apricot wheat ale. That's all it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice 2008 little maybe to when this movie was just a glint in a filmmaker's eye way back in the 2000s. What else you got? You got another one you're sipping on, or are you holding on to that one?
No, I also popped this one up because this was the one I was really unsure if I was going to like or not. But I actually am really enjoying it. It's the Modelo Chelada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Modelo Chelada Limon y Sal. So it's lemon and salt.
I like it.
It tastes like it has the lemon flavor of like a hug. You like a little hug. Remember those? Yeah, it has that.
Yeah, we have some of those in the house right now because we had my youngest daughter's birthday last weekend. We got a big old flat of hugs.
Yeah.
Kids were running around. I was mowing the grass yesterday. I found an empty hug container under one of the bushes that somebody left.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least you didn't run that over and just spray fucking plastic all over your yard. But it has that kind of citrus flavor, and then it has like a salty back end to it. So I don't know if you've had like any of the Prime energy drinks or the Body Armor energy drinks, any of that kind of shit.
Not an energy drink guy. Not an energy drink guy.
They're calling them like hydration drinks now. And they're like mostly coconut water and then have like a lot of salt in them. So they have like really salty like aftertastes.
Get that electrolytes up like the old school Powerade back in the day.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're bringing it back. But This is also doing that. It has a really salty like aftertaste to it. So it's beer, little hugs, and salt. And honestly, I wish I could send this back to me when I was 22 and just drinking in the Pirates parking lot. This is such a hot day fucking drinker for playing cornhole in the fucking parking lots of the PNC Park.
Hell yeah. I love those for that exact reason. I was not long ago when I was in Vegas. We were drinking on a couple of those as well. One fine evening. That was on the way to vacation before I got that horrible stomach bug. And I was sipping on, actually, I was drinking Clamato though, but I love a Clamato. I love what's the other one? That's just the straight up tomato and without the lime and stuff.
So I think that also falls under the Chelada. Or Michelada.
Yeah, just a Chelada.
Michelada.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. I like all that stuff, but I like the clam. I like the clammy one.
I've never tried it. I've never.
Yeah.
I just don't want those worlds to mesh for me.
Don't think about clams.
But
because it doesn't taste like that.
Okay.
I do too, but I don't want to drink clams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Necessarily. But a little bit of the clam juice, a little bit of clam, it just, I don't know. It fucks. I also have been getting back to my roots here as well, and just getting some tahini and just putting it on the rim of a fucking beer can.
Oh
lately.
Yeah.
Oh, I fuck with that too. But I'm not drinking any of those things right now. I'm drinking something pretty damn different, actually. I am drinking, which I haven't had in an alarming amount of time, a good old authentic English bitter. I am drinking Trooper, which is the Iron Maiden beer that they make with it's Robinson Brewery in the UK.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this?
Yeah, I've never liked any of that.
Yeah. See, I love a good English bitter. You know, it's got the
I like them too. I just don't. Do not like. I don't know what the fuck that is like, because they brew a bunch of different styles for Iron Maiden with Bruce Dickinson. They do a Belgian, they do that English bitter, and I think they started originally with just like a normal like English pills, and I've never liked any of them. They all just
they have one that's like I think it's an English golden ale too. That's a little hoppier, perhaps.
But
yeah, this one I fuck with it. It's got a nice English, dry but fruity English ale yeast character combined with that like classic kind of grassy, dried leaves, kind of herbaceous hop character. I'm not saying it's my favorite bitter in the world, but man, Pittsburgh is just a dead zone for good English ales.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from Samuel Smith, maybe you just aren't finding jack shit.
Yeah.
So in a pinch, I will happily drink this one, and like I said, not my favorite, but I will dig on it. A nice cool English bitter on like a hot summer day. Oof, it gets me going.
For some reason, you're right about Pittsburgh being a dead zone. Even though sometimes East End puts one out, I think, and. Occasionally you used to get them from Necromancer when they were open, but they're not. But man, just Fuller's. I'm always Fuller's is my go-to ESB.
I love Fuller's London Pride. Love it. I just can't find it fresh. Can't find it fresh.
Yeah,
I'm not looking maybe I'm not looking at the right spots, but if I'm over a vintage or something like that, I'll grab one. But I absolutely adore London Pride. But yeah, if I could find that fresh, I'd drink it all the damn time. All right, guys, we got some beersies. Now we got a couple other fucking things to do here as well. First of all, it's already that time where we got to pick from the spinny old wheel for our showdown episode, potential showdown episode topics for the holy shit beautiful month of July. That's coming up here, guys. So once again, as Steve gets up that spinning ass wheel, I'll explain to you. If you want to help us pick these topics for our showdown episodes, which what that is this fucking thing where once a month we spin this old wheel, we get some topics, you help us pick them. Once we have a topic, me, Steve, and whoever our guest is for that month, pick a movie or a TV show or something that's associated with that specific topic. Last month, it was our favorite episodes of Erie, Indiana. We talk about them, we argue about them, and then we vote, and then whoever wins takes home that son bitchin' championship strap for the month, gets to pick a revenge movie for the next episode. So that's where we're at right now. If you want to be one of them people that either suggests topics to us or helps us vote on the topics, all you got to do is do a little old follow us on the social media at Halloween is Forever, and we'll put them up in the polls. or at Hallow Forever over on the X/Twitter. And we'll put a poll and you can go ahead and vote on that sumbitch whenever you're ready. You also should follow us for a variety of reasons. Why? Because we've got, some spicy, spooky, ooky content on the internet on a regular basis. So, just to keep up with the show, see what's going on with the Patreon, who the guest is going to be, that sort of stuff. If you're not tuning in every damn week, first of all, why the fuck wouldn't you be? So, yeah, that's what you should do if you want to get involved with that. We also loved you taking suggestions for just regular old minisodes that happen in the middle of the month, too. We like when you give those suggestions because oftentimes we use them.
Yeah.
So if you got a movie that you're like, well, wish the boys would talk about that, throw it our way. We'll take a peeky at it. All right, Steve, you got that spinny ass wheel up, right? And we just moved into our, is this our fourth? We are moving into our fourth year of doing this here podcast. Yep. Holy shit. We just completed year number 3. So we reset the wheel, which is kind of wild. So let's see what that newly refreshed wheel is going to tell us.
The newly refreshed wheel has given us something I don't think has ever made the polls even. So
all right.
It's going to be, it simply says wrestling, but I'll just probably amend it to wrestling in horror. But I'm guessing this is just a general, like if the movie stars a wrestler or if there's actual wrestling moves in the movie.
That's what I was going to say. Is it wrestling/wrestlers?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it just goes anyway because I assume I might be the one who put this on there. And I was probably thinking about the movie Skull the Mask, which has a lot of wrestling moves in it, but no wrestlers.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of there's a lot of movies with wrestlers in it, like Kurt Angle. I think Rey Mysterio is in like a lucha murder fucking movie. So it's all there.
Yeah. This could get tenuous because then, what happens is like, hey, if somebody's, killed with a sledgehammer, for example, even though it might not be Hunter Hearst Helmsley himself doing the killing, if it's killed with a sled, now is that a wrestling enough for you?
No,
probably not.
Probably not.
Right?
You might lose that. You might lose that showdown.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to build your. So this is one of those ones where you got to kind of build a case for it.
Yeah.
You got to build a case for why this is the best wrestling option out there. So, all right. I like it. I'm excited for that one. That has, I don't think that, like you said, has ever been up on the wheel. So,
yeah.
All right. What's number 2?
Number 2 coming up here is Return of an Old Classic that we've done in the past, but now that the wheel's refreshed, it gets another chance. Cosmic horror.
Oh yeah, all right. We can go in some old cosmic horror there. Obviously, things in the Lovecraftian vein, perhaps. I've been reading another Laird Barron book recently, who's a big cosmic horror guy, very Lovecraftian inspired guy as well. I love me some cosmic horror, some weird fiction type of shit. All right, what's number 3?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe cosmic horror comes to us from year 2, because that was a year Meg was on that Showdown. So that was definitely a year 2.
And she's been dead for nigh on 2 years now.
Yeah, she's been dead forever. But the third one is future directors and writers. So this was films that were crewed by people who went on to do bigger things. So you're thinking your Sam Raimi's and your Peter Jacksons who got their start in horror, but then went on to do something, much bigger.
Yeah. This one's definitely been on the vote before, but I don't remember if we've ever done it before.
No, I never won.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. We got another chance. We got one that's been up but hasn't won. We've got Cosmic Horror, which has won and we've done. So we can get a little deeper into Cosmic Horror. We can do something brand new for you with some wrestling horror, which I got to think that one is going to be that's going to be a front runner. I feel like that's going to be a front runner with our fans out there, our social media friends and listeners. But we shall see. All right. If you want to help us out, if you'd like to do, help us out with suggesting those topics or voting on them, all that sort of stuff. Like I said, follow us over on our social medias. It's a lot of fun. One other quick thing we got to do as well, guys, we got to mention, because it's going to be coming up here pretty damn soon for June, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Halloween is forever. But we also have a Patreon exclusive podcast, guys. We've been talking about it for a while. We finished up our series that was called Family is Forever, which of course we talked about son of a bitchin' Fast and the Furious movies. We went through all of them. Steve made me do that. I hated it. Hated every damn minute of it. However, now it's my turn. We did all that's in the past. That's behind me. That's water under the bridge. We've got a new series. We've done an episode already. It's already out there. It's been released. We're going to do another episode here shortly, and it's called Youth Group is Forever. And that is where we talk about my pick, which is, of course, really shitty, like Christian propaganda horror movies.
Yeah.
Oftentimes weird right wing, like don't look like, okay, so every one of these that I've looked at so far, it's all about how you're going to go to hell for a certain thing, right? We did in our first month, we did a movie called Blood Pageant that heavily involves one Snoop Doggy Dogg. And that one is about if you are on a reality show and you say that your grandma's cooking is not as good as somebody else's, you go to hell.
Yeah.
This one is that we're about to do, which is called The Lock-In. Which, have you watched it yet, Steve?
Oh, I'll watch it this week if you want to record this week. But
watch the movie, Steve. This one is about if you look at porn, you go to hell. And this movie fucking blows. I think what you said has like a 1.5 or something on IMDb. It's fucking hilariously stupid. If you want to have something to do with that, you want to watch that nonsense, you want to be in the Discord with us, watching us record those episodes, as well as these episodes live, going over there to patreon.com/Halloween is forever. Sign up. Give us a couple $2-3 a month. It's $5 a month is when you get all this good stuff. And we will much appreciate that. And we'll give you all type of good stuff for it. Anything else we need to do at the top of the show here? That's about it, right?
That's about it.
Get in this fucking movie.
Yeah. If you give us $3 on the Patreon, you just get to read about my review for Under Paris. That'll get you that.
Oh yeah. Shark movie.
Yeah.
Shark movie.
Shit is great. And
Is it great?
Yeah, it's great.
Is it a Sharks in the Sewer movie?
A little bit of sewer,
Yeah,
bit of sewer sharks. A little bit of sewer sharks.
Yeah, I thought it was a little. I assumed. I just from the title and the fact that I knew there were sharks in it, I assumed it was a little sewer shark.
A little bit of sewer sharks. Yeah,
I'm excited for that. I listen. I know I love me. Anybody who knows that I love me some street sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And if those sharks are on top of the street or underneath the street, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I call them, no matter what, to me, a street shark's a street shark, as far as I'm concerned. And if you're a fan of these street sharks, you'll know that they swim under the street, but not in the sewer. They just cut through the street.
Yeah, they just go through the cement
like it's water.
Yeah,
like it's water.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
Which is kind of bullshit on their part, actually. Like that's rude of them because the sewers are right there, but instead they ruin all of that public works. And cost the city millions of dollars. You know what I know about street sharks? 2 things. Yeah. 1, they're rude. Okay. And 2, they got a bad tude. Okay. And they like to skateboard. They like to rollerblade. They like extreme sports as well. That's another thing that I like, that I know and appreciate about the street sharks. Did you know who one of their original pitchmen was? No. Oh. Wait. Original pitchman? Yeah. What do you mean, like pitching the like doing ads? Doing the ad, not pitching the toy to the company, but doing an ad for the toys. Okay, no, I don't. Oh no, this is an origin point for one Mr. Vincent Diesel. No shit. Yeah. Vinny D did a promo. Yeah. Like the voice on a commercial? No, kind of thing? Like he was standing there demonstrating the toys. I think the footage might be from like an expo, but it was definitely marketing material of him showing off how the toys rule. And he's an adult. Yeah. So it's not like he was a kid in a commercial going, woo, as the street sharks bust through a wall that was built. No. Yeah, because he was like 50 in 1994. Yeah. But so here's, I imagine what happened is he answered an ad,
right, for actors.
Yeah.
And it was like, must be bald and very tough.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, that's me.
Hell yeah.
And then he went to the audition, and he thought he was going to be a movie star, and they were like, no. You got to show people how to play with toys. And he was like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
Do they got muscles? Yeah, they do. All right.
You got. I'll send you the video, but he has no sleeves, and he has
Steve. That goes without saying.
I know, but I'm just saying, even early on, he's catching his brand of no sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a leather vest and
hell yeah,
a shark tooth necklace. So
shark tooth necklace, and I assume rollerblades.
No, you can't see his waist or below his waist. But
well, is he above 5'7"? Because in that case, he was wearing rollerblades. Is he taller than the children?
Well, the children, there's no children in this. It's just him and the toys.
Really? It's just
him and the toys getting down.
Good. Is he taller than the toys?
He's taller than the toys.
Well, he was probably wearing rollerblades. Yeah. He's a short man. Yeah. Short man. Likes to pretend he's tall. Short man. Anyway, all that is behind us, guys. We'll figure out when we watch this in the coming week or two here, when we watch and talk about the lock-in. We will figure out what the Street Sharks connection to that might actually just need to be a feature that gets added every month, is like the 7 degrees of separation from Street Sharks. I think we could probably figure that one out. Anyway, all right, let's get on to Louie's movie. Again, Blood, Slaughter, Massacre. I don't think this movie is currently available anywhere. Louie did share it with us, share a link that we watched it via. And also, I believe he did give us the okay to post that as well, so people can watch it if they choose to do so. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said it was okay to post on Patreon, but I'm just leaving it up for the week for our patrons. Mm-hmm. So like if you're a new patron, maybe you can catch it, but you gotta you have to sign up right now. I'm gonna take it down because it's I don't think it's fair to Louie to just leave it up in perpetuity. So it's for our patrons now to be able to watch the movie and appreciate it with the episode. Otherwise, I'm sure you can still find ways to contact Louie at the Haunted Hangover, or they may renew the license on Amazon. There's ways you can find it, but support Louie and the Haunted Hangover, and maybe they have their own Patreon that you can sign up for and get the movie that way or something.
That's true too. I say you do both. I say you sign up for our Patreon and Louie's Patreon over there. He's got a lot of fun topics over there. Support your local podcasters, you guys. Also, he did say that there was once upon a time a physical release, so there is a degree of likelihood that you would be able to go out there and find a physical copy of this if you feel so inclined. Anyway, this movie, like I said, was made in 2013. Obviously, it's a low budget horror movie slasher flick, and we'll just kind of jump into some of the story here because I am curious to hear what you think the story is, because I will say one thing regarding this film is the motivation of the killer, spoiler alert, killers is confusing.
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure if I fully understand it, but I do want to rip on Louie. He's not here to defend himself, so I won't be too harsh, but I do, because he wrote it, I do want to I would imagine I'm picturing him in a room like the Charlie Day meme, with all the little red yarn going from thing to thing, and this is happening. And people on set going, Louie, what happened? Shut up. Just it's too complicated for you. He is his magnum opus. Yeah. And maybe it was editing too, but it does get a little bit lost. I don't think he would mind us saying in terms of what the fuck is happening, especially during the end of the movie. But I don't know that it takes that much away from it. It's a fucking guy, spooky, creepy old clown boy, just packing people up with some fun practical effects, and some, just kind of low budget charm. So it starts out at a Halloween party that is also a birthday party. So that really is a microcosm for the movie a little bit.
It's a hat on a hat.
It's a Halloween party. It's a Halloween party, but it's also a birthday party for some guys. And they're just guys, guys being guys. One of them's like you know what? Never mind. I was going to do a reference to a fairly obscure reference to a specific comedian's joke, and I'm just going to let that one go by. Are you familiar with Casey Rocket? Have you seen this guy yet? He's all over the internet. He's on like Kill Tony and stuff. He's real popular right now. Okay. And he does this bit where he's like, I like when men were men. When men were men. And he just keeps saying when men were men. He's like kind of making fun of these like, dumb like millennial or not millennial, dumb
just like
boomer,
Tucker Carlson.
When men were men. Yeah. When men were men. Anyway, so these guys are just men being men. You get the idea that they're kind of important people, at least. So like one of them's a judge. They're kind of prim and proper, a little bit older gentleman. And you're at this kind of backyard Halloween / birthday party. It's one of their birthdays. They're all dressed up for Halloween, right? And then there's essentially what you're introduced to is a whole bunch of noobs that are just itching to get pwned. That's pretty much what we're experiencing here.
Yep. Bunch of bodies waiting to happen.
Yeah. Just corpses waiting to happen. Pre-corpses.
Yep.
This one girl's talking to another girl about how she wants a promotion, and she's like, talk to the boss. And he goes and she talks to the boss. They're drunk, and the boss is being real creepy. He's kind of suggesting a little quid pro quo type situation. And then there's just someone kind of lurking around in the periphery, right? You don't know exactly what he's up to, but you probably up to no good. Then fast forward, and the cops are investigating something that happened. Apparently an anonymous call at that house party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of corpses. You don't know exactly how many, but he goes around back, and there's just piles of bodies, and they're all ripped up. Faces ripped up. A lot of facial mutilation in this film, and some fun practical effects though, which I really do like. There's a lot of faces hanging off and gouged out eyes and all that sort of thing. There's some good makeup effects.
It never gets to the point of like doing like huge geysers or anything like that, but like
there's some sprayage.
Yeah. But like as far as like makeup effects go, this is pretty decent. I like it.
Yeah. I thought so.
I like in this scene, it just sort of reminded me of remember the final slashing, the beginning that we watched? That was like, so the movie that was a sequel to, the slashing, it has a very similar thing of like a bunch of bodies piled up outside, and like it's all lit by the light that's coming from inside the house. It's just the same low budget thing that you've seen. I was just like, it would just be a dark yard. Yeah.
You just feel like you would see somebody out there like taking their dog out to pee, but then there's just a pile of corpses.
Yeah.
Right. The cops that are investigating, one of the cops, his last name is Cobb. Walter Cobb is his name.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I kept thinking, one thing I will say, and again, this is not going to be too big of a slight on the movie. It's low budget. The sound design's troublesome in this movie in a lot of instances. I would say that's probably one of the low points of the movie is the sound design. Not the soundtrack. There's some fun original tracks on there, but I mean like the actual sound design. Like there's a lot of ups and downs. You can't hear some of the dialogue at times. But anyway, one of the cops' name is Cobb, and the other cop keeps calling him Cobb. And I thought he was calling him Cop for a while, which I thought was really funny.
Cop.
If they just both the cops called each other Cop.
Hey, Cop.
Get over here, Cop. Cop number 2, get over here. So that tickled me a little bit. But they find the one girl who was asking for the promotion. They find her still alive in the kitchen, and she's all fucked up. Right. She's got like her skin's peeled back off her back. Like somebody was trying to like skin her or something, but it's pretty rough. And then that cop gets stabbed by a clown mask dude. And then he goes outside and dies on the front lawn. And Cop, I'm calling him Cop at this point, Cop runs over and he's like, hey, other cop. He doesn't even say that. He's just like, he's pretty nonplussed by the whole thing. His partner just got stabbed in the chest and he's bleeding out in the front lawn. He's like, what happened?
Whoa.
He's just like pretty.
I just happened to be watching this, and like while I was watching it, I had to like pause it. And then I forgot to make a post on Patreon about like, how to watch the movie and when we were recording today. So, but in the freeze frame, I paused it. It's when the cop goes down in the grass. And in that freeze frame, I was able to see that he has terrible trigger discipline because he falls down with his finger in the trigger loop.
I love that.
And I was like, yes, that's the most like low budget thing. Like it's the thing that gets made fun of by Mystery Science Theater when they watch Ed Wood films because people act they're just with their guns.
He's like, talking with their guns, pointing at people's faces, not paying attention.
Yeah. So I saw that.
That's great.
And I saw that, and we're only 5 minutes into the film or whatever, and I was just like, fuck yes, it's just low budget. Go for it.
I love it. Now, fast forward to 10 years later. There's a girl. She's just walking at night, listening to her Walkman. This is set in the like late 80s, early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Is what we're meant to believe. She's walking in the park at night with her Walkman, and she starts getting stalked. And we've got some sick, like original synthwave tracks throughout this thing. And there's actually a pretty nice little, like, I get like a little diegetic transition that happens when it's like we're hearing the track and then the track switches to her headphones. You get that little transition, which is fun. Then you get this shot of her getting like chased down by the same clown killer, of course, 10 years later, but he's chasing her through the park. It's kind of a scream shot where it's like a slowdown of him like closing the gap and chasing her down.
Yeah.
And then just kind of bear hugs her. Cut to she's laying on the ground. There's either a pentagram carved on her or just written in blood on her stomach. And you get boobies early on. A lot of boobies in this movie.
Yeah.
No shortage of boobies. And then she's like ritualistically stabbed to death, so you could tell there's some sort of like satanic ritual element going on with these murders. So next day you got the crime scene, right? You got Detective Trenchcoat, which is of course cop from the opening scene.
Yep. And
then you've got Detective Leather Jacket. And he's kind of our main character. We learn a lot about, he's got a young daughter and his estranged wife and stuff like that. So I just started referring to him as Leather Daddy.
Sure.
So
okay.
He just kind of is going to be Leather Daddy in my notes from here forward. Just LD. Yeah. I just wrote.
I had different names for them because they actually have similar looks to two different pairs of detectives.
Okay.
So I was mainly calling them Bonk and McFulty, which I know you don't get because you didn't watch The Wire, but
correct.
The two main detectives on The Wire were a detective named Bunk and another one named McNulty. So I was calling them Bonk and McFulty because they look like Timo knockoffs of those guys. And
okay.
The other thing is the guy who you're calling Leather Daddy, but I'm calling McFulty. His name's Jimmy, and Jimmy McNulty on The Wire also had an estranged wife and a drinking problem and a kid and kids he didn't see. So like, I swear he was. This is the problem with Louie not being here. I'm just like making connections of like, were you just doing Bunk and McNulty investigating your thing? The other pair they also look like is Mills and Somerset from Seven, because
I could see that too. Yeah,
because Cobb has the long duster and the hat like Somerset, and I mean, like Mills just kind of looked, Brad Pitt. He dressed basically the same, but
he's
like
a young, stylishy kind of guy.
But
that's
like he also looks like Max Payne. He also looks like. But the thing that made me
it does look like Max Payne.
It was supposed to be Seven as well, is because the McFulty's character, his last name is Fincher, as in David Fincher.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're probably right. That's a good call. I would be surprised to learn those were not intentional references.
So I was just like, are you? Yeah, I just wanted to ask Louie, but he's not here. But hopefully he'll listen and just shoot us a message. And it's like, were you doing Seven in The Wire? Because I think you were doing Seven in The Wire. I saw Seven in The Wire, or maybe it was just like subconscious when he was writing it, and he just, and like while they were doing production design.
No, that feels like that's very much him. That feels like that was a little Easter egg that he put in there. Yeah. Anyway, so this woman they're investigating, her heart was ripped out. She's got some bloody boobies, and then they do find a photo under her body, and you can't really tell what it is. It's all covered in blood, but it looks like it's like a woman or a girl or something like that. I do love the detective's car. It's like an old Cutlass or something, like two-door. With a jack-o'-lantern cling on the back window.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's such a cool detective car.
I think
not in any way, shape, or form a cop car.
I was going through the IMDb trivia, and I think they said that was his actual car.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's even better.
Yeah, so that he was just driving his car as a production car.
I like it. I like it. So they decide they're going to start questioning some of the other youths around town, try to figure out if they can determine what happened with this murder victim. So there's all these 80s teens hanging around. They're arguing. There's this guy named Johnny. He's got a jean jacket, a T-top, and he fucks. So that's all you need to know about Johnny. That's his vibe. He's got a sick ass blonde mullet. And he's causing a little bit of a scene. The cop tells him to fucking, take an egg and beat it or whatever. And then they go to ask these two, fellow youths. They're like, hey, you know this person? And they're kind of getting snotty. And they're like, no, we don't know. Why you keep asking us? We didn't have anything to do with her. And they're like, well, she got murdered. And they both go, they both gasp.
And it's so funny.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. And they're like, we just go to junior high school with her.
Yeah.
It's like that line just killed me. No kid calls the school they go to junior high school.
No.
But anyway, I don't know why I just got a kick out of that.
I love the boyfriend though. Like for some reason, I guess it wasn't clear to me that we were in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And the boyfriend is such an 80s, like, just Long Island white trash.
Yeah.
He has the long hair, the denim, just denim everything.
Cut off. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he climbs into a T-top. I was like, well, either he's going back to the future or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes. I mean, the Walkman was one thing that kind of gave it away, but like otherwise, you're like, oh, okay. And then you start to see like the fashion and stuff like that. Then you start to see that there's, it's obviously it's a period piece, we'll say.
Yeah.
They are talking about this. They don't have a lot of compassion for murder victims in this movie. Like they're like, hey, did you find anything about the girl? And the one's like, this girl didn't have any friends. I just thought that was a funny line. He meant like, we can't find any friends, but it just came off as like, she doesn't have any friends, which I thought was funny. And then Detective Leather Daddy is late to lunch. So this is kind of a subplot that doesn't like it comes back. But anyway, he's late to lunch with Jenny, who you learn is his estranged wife. And he's having some family issues, right? He's kind of a deadbeat dad. He likes to booze. He's kind of a hard-boiled detective type. And then they talk about a daughter's birthday party coming up, which he is clearly going to miss. Like when an alcoholic detective has one of their children's birthdays coming up, you can bet dollars to donuts he's missing that birthday. It's a 100% chance.
Yeah. If he doesn't miss it, he's going to ruin it by being there. And just
or he's going to show up with like a teddy bear with blood on it and booze soaked, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's gonna fight the guy that the ex-wife is now dating, is what he's gonna do, because he's gonna show up drunk, and then the guy she's dating is like too close to the daughter, and that makes him jealous, and he fights him.
And he's gonna, you think you're better than me?
Yeah.
You think you're better than me?
I'm the law. I am
You'll never be her father. I'm her father. I'm right to I'm her father.
I'll arrest you.
What are you looking at? No, but we don't get that scene, unfortunately.
No.
We just get he don't show up. He misses it. Anyway, we cut to a babysitter, an unknown babysitter being stalked. And we get a little boyfriend jump scare. And we get some more boobies, which is great. We get some quality boobies. And then you go to another set of teens. So there's a lot of teens in here. It's easy to get them mixed up. There's another teen talking on the phone about the body that was found. And then we learn that 10 years ago, which of course is a well-known incident in this town, 23 people were killed. I was like, holy shit. I thought it was like 6. No, it's 23. I mean, he must have, like, I don't know, they were outside, you know what I mean? So how do you kill 23 people at once? Unless you're fucking Jason Bourne or something like that. I don't know. But he killed 23 people. And they're talking about that, and you're just talking about teen stuff, right? So we're getting some of that backstory. You get some tremendous Philly, Jersey accents in this movie.
Yes.
There's this girl, Carla.
Carla is my favorite.
Parties.
Yeah.
And she is kind of the her name's escaping me, but the girl from Sleepaway Camp that that everyone loves to hate. I can't want to say Debbie, but it's not Debbie.
I wasn't getting that though. But
she's just like bitchy and mean. And I guess kind of she looks a little bit like her, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But just the fucking Philly dirtball accent is mwah. It's chef's kiss.
That's what I was getting more of, is just like the dirtball. Like Carla the character. Like I looked up, I heard it, but then I looked it up to confirm, and the actress who plays Carla is from Philly, and she does she does her own Philly movies and such like that. But Carla the character, she would be the kind of girl that always had bruises on her legs, like always would have like loose cigarettes in her purse, like just starting fights with randos, because she does in this film, really. Like, I mean, she kind of starts fights with randos. So yeah, like she is just dirtball scum, and like
straight out of Delco.
Yeah,
just like
it's
standing
so
on the corner eating a sandwich, flipping people off.
Yeah, she's she's my favorite because she sticks out. Like everybody else is kind of just like a teen girl.
Sure.
And then it all kind of blends together. Like nobody else has like real characterization, but like because Carla is a dirtbag, it's like, oh hell yeah, Carla.
Carla's chugging high proof liquor and like telling people to get fucked,
Yeah, there's one scene, and I guess we're coming up to it sort of, but like when they're in the video store and like the guy like brushes past her too closely. And just the way she pronounces, "Watch out, asshole!" just
and then she calls him like a shit. Then she calls him like a shit fuck or something. Like just two incongruous swears together.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just a lot of great lines pronounced in that mid-Atlantic. Just like, you don't smoke, you don't drink, don't you?
What do you do?
What do you do? Like, it's so fucking rules. So,
what do you do?
What do you
only
do?
Drink water?
Yeah. We gotta escape this house and go down to the wall.
We gotta go down there. I would kill for a water ice right now.
Yeah, you get a water ice and a pretzel.
So the babysitter is not concerned about like the, so they her and the boyfriend are bang on the couch, and then they kind of doze off naked in somebody else's house as a babysitter. Just doze off naked.
Yep.
Bold move. Yep. And then get up, and then she wakes up, the boyfriend's not there, and starts walking around, the house with her titties popping. And I'm like, it's a different breed, in Jersey. And then she gets clowned pretty quick. Clown just pops up. The clown's signature move, which I started to refer to as getting clowned, is just he pops up silently behind you and runs you through with a big knife. That's his move.
That's how you get clowned.
Does it many times. Yeah. Many times. He get clowned.
He's very similar to Michael Myers in like they have like a piano sting for him, but they rarely use it. So he can. So
a
he
lot
can
of times it
silent.
just goes silent.
Yeah. So he told him, "Hey, knock off all that piano. I got to stab these girls."
Quit it. You're distracting me.
Yeah.
So Leather Daddy shows up to the crime scene the next morning, and he's late, and he's stinking of booze. He's all hungover. He looks like dog shit. The other cop, trench coat cop says, "You look like dog shit." And then he tells him to fuck off. Go home. You're a mess. The babysitter and the boyfriend are found dead. Oh no, he doesn't tell him to fuck off yet. But he does, tell him, you got to get your fucking act together. And then the girlfriend, the babysitter, she is got the pentagram on her. She got her eyes ripped out, all that stuff. So another ritualistic murder here. Now we get introduced to the forensics guy, and right away, he's a little fishy right off the bat.
Immediately. He has a chin strap beard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like he's straight out of a Mudvayne album cover or something. Like,
yeah. Now, I understand we're in 2013 because I think the last person I knew with a chin strap beard was in 2013. And also, he couldn't read. So I don't trust people of that nature. And I'm telling you, it's 2024. If you know somebody with a chin strap beard, please take them to a barber and then to an adult learning center. They can turn it around.
Take them to have an intervention. Say, sir, we have two very important things to talk about. They're of equal weight.
Yeah.
And
one is
context in your life.
One is contributing to the other.
Yeah. If you got rid of that beard, you could read probably immediately.
Yeah.
So the forensic guy, like I say, he's giving off some creepy vibes right off the bat. There's another photo under the body. Bing, bang, boom. You start to get the idea. The forensics guy kind of knows more than you would expect him to know, I guess. And trench coat and leather jackets get into it about, him being drunk and unprofessional. And I guess he had taken the other photo that was underneath the other body, accidentally kept it with him, didn't turn it into evidence. And he's like, you're an unprofessional dickhead. Go home. So he gets an anonymous call. Leather Daddy gets an anonymous call. Says, come meet me at the park the next day. He's like, oh, okay, fine. Cut back to the teens. They're hanging out in this video store. And this is the line. I did write it down. Carla, there's this creepy guy bouncing around. He's looking at him. He's got like a scar on his face. He's this creepy guy, old guy, hanging around the video store that they're browsing. And he goes by him. And one of the things when he confronts them is she goes, what the hell shit? Hell shit is a great line. He's just being a real crazy creeper. He's harassing them. Carla's cussing him out, that sort of thing. And eventually, he's the harbinger of doom type. He's also like a little bit of the red herring as well. The crazy old guy must be him. Clearly it's not, but Sergeant Leather Daddy goes to the park to meet, the anonymous person, and it's forensics guy. Surprise, surprise.
Just the one thing, just one last note about that video store scene is they also show you the guy who runs the video store, and he's like, he's watching all of this go down. And then after the girls are chased off by the creep, he just like looks at the creep and just like then clears frame. He just turns it into a real, that's not my problem. They pay the girls.
He comes out, he's like, what's going on back here? Yeah. And they like run away screaming. And he's like, well, all right. Crisis averted. Yeah,
well, they paid, so I'm not going to throw him out. He might still buy something.
He might still rent something because she just throws some money on the counter and runs out the door.
Yeah.
Going back to the park, the forensics guy does what I can only describe as the weakest extortion attempt ever. Yeah. He's like, I know stuff about this case, and you gotta give me some money, and I'll tell you. And he's like, no, I'm going to tell on you. And he's like, oh, please don't do that. He just gives up on the extortion like right away. And they start to, and this is where you start to get a little bit of the background about the characters at play and the origins of the massacre that happened 10 years ago and all this stuff. There's this guy, his name is Gerald Videtta, I guess. Yeah. And they're like,
something Italian.
You remember Gerald? And I was like, who the fuck is Gerald? They just act like we all should know who Gerald is. It's of course I just wrote Gerald Videtta, of course. We all knew that was coming. And he was either at first I thought he was the Ripper from 10 years ago. He was the guy who murdered all those people. But then I'm like, well, I think maybe he wasn't. He was just accused of doing it. But then I was like, well, there was something about he was accused of like molesting his daughter, and then she went to a orphanage because he didn't do it. He was innocent, but then he kind of got railroaded, and then and then his daughter died in the orphanage, I guess, and that's why he went crazy and killed all those people.
Yeah.
But it is not clear
Yeah, so it's like 3 different scenes of exposition that I rewatched just because I knew I glazed over when I got to the end of the film and I said, what? So I went back and I rewatched like these 3 expository scenes and I'm still not completely clear, but I think he was the original Ripper and they saddled him with the molestation charge to put him in jail. But but they covered up the massacre with a house fire because they didn't want people to it was just, I don't know, maybe it wasn't as scary. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't want to create they didn't want to create like a monster or a lore by saying like, oh, there's this Ripper who killed 23 people. They didn't want to create that monster, so they covered it up with a fire and a fake molestation. And then his daughter was sent to an orphanage, but then she went to a foster family. And then while she was at a foster family, she got into a drunk driving accident where she wasn't the driver at fault. So, yeah.
All right. So here's, okay. So what we're saying is the motivation of the killer in this movie, who was already a killer, was that he was mad that he was accused of not the murders he did, but of the molestation.
Yes. He was accused of the molestation, I guess.
He was like, guys, I'm a murderer, not a molester.
And because his daughter died, like being out of his care, I guess.
But why did he kill the first time?
Oh, that's just, because
for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. Oh, no, wait, no. Okay, no, the timeline of events is backwards. That's what it is. No, like he killed the first time because they saddled him with the molestation charge.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he killed because like you said, it was a party full of judges and lawyers and shit like that. So he killed everybody at that party just to sweep everybody up. But like he got all the people who accused him falsely of molesting his daughter. Then he comes back and tries to kill all the children of those people at the party he killed as well. Because they killed his daughter. He killed them, but he also wants to kill their kids. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it did feel like at one point that those timelines were not separate, that it was somebody who was being falsely accused of something and that caused him to kill, but not the first time. He just did it for funsies. But no, I think you're right. I think it is a little unclear, but the thing that makes sense is what you just explained. Is the false accusations, the daughter dies, he's pissed, comes back, kills everybody, and then of course 10 years later on the anniversary, he not only that, but there's another, again, which is a little bit of the hat on the hat here, is that he's coming back 10 years later, not just for a second round of revenge to kill the kids' parents, the parents' kids, rather, that he killed 10 years ago, but also to bring his daughter back via a ritualistic murder of 7 people to bring her soul back. Yeah. But then we'll later learn that there is another killer involved who may also want to bring back a different soul.
I think it's better if we just actually talk the plot all the way through. We can go to the scenes, but like there's no point in dancing around like how just kind of convoluted this gets. So we're in the scene with the coroner, and we later learn that also the coroner, he is not working with the Ripper, but he is aligned with the Ripper in goal.
He heard about the Ripper's sick ritual that he was to pull off and was like, I need some of that sweet ritual action. Yeah. Because I got a wife who was murdered by the Ripper at the party. No. She wasn't his wife. But she was pregnant with his child.
She was pregnant with his child, but it was the Ripper's daughter. He was the one.
Oh, the Ripper's daughter was his significant other who was pregnant with the child.
Yeah, which is how
that.
Yeah, which is how they were able to saddle the Ripper with a molestation charge, because you have obvious proof of somebody being pregnant that shouldn't be pregnant.
Did not make that connection. Did not pick that up at all.
Yeah. So the coroner is also trying to bring back the Ripper's daughter because he was in love with her.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Does he think that he's going to bring back his unborn child as well?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It probably would have sufficed to just say that he was in love with her.
Yeah.
The whole, she was pregnant with my baby thing is probably, again, unnecessary. But anyway, go back to the video store. You see that the loony guy who was at the video store and the clerk both got clowned. Then this is the scene we talked about earlier, which we knew was going to happen. Detective Leather Daddy shows up drunk at 4 a.m. to his ex's or estranged wife. You never get an idea of whether they're divorced or not. Anyway, they're separated, I would say probably. He shows up at like 4 a.m. hammered with a stuffed animal, and if he missed the birthday, and she's like, I want you out of my life forever, blah, blah, blah. Then he's turned away by her. She's like, get your drunk ass out of here. And then he stumbles hammered down a hallway, sees someone, thinks it's the clown, and pulls his gun and shoots at them.
Yeah.
And then passes out drunk in the hallway.
Yeah.
Wake up the next morning at the police station of him getting reamed out because he shot at a random civilian thinking it, because he was hammered. And the chief has a inexplicable wig.
Before we get to inexplicable wig.
Yeah.
The guy in the hallway, that's Louie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I was looking for him. I didn't find him. It's very blurry, intentionally blurry, but
right. Yeah. It's intentionally blurred from the POV of the drunk detective, so he can't tell the difference between a regular person and the clown. But yeah, the guy who's like, hey, I don't want no trouble. That's Louie.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I missed though.
On to the captain. And
the captain.
This scene is so fucking out of control for no reason.
It's hilarious. He's, again, the cop has this wig. It's a different color than any of his facial hair.
Yeah.
And then he has a hat on top of the wig, which looks even funnier.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have the hat on top at the scene.
No, he has when he comes in, he has the hat on because I have it in my notes. I have Captain's wig jump scare because he takes the hat off and it's this shocking blonde like boy cut, and it's like, what the
like
fuck
strawberry blonde pixie cut.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's auditioning for a stage production of Rosemary's Baby or something. Like it's a wild decision. And then he's like, this is the detectives getting reamed out scene. So he's like, yeah, dumb bastards. You almost shot somebody. What? And then he's mad at cop, aka Trenchcoat, his partner, because he's like, why didn't you tell me he was drinking again? And then so two things happen here that are funny. One, he's of course suspending, not arresting, should be arresting, but his suspending, it's the old give me your badge and your gun routine.
Yeah.
And Leather Daddy has the audacity to seem outraged. He's like, but Chief, I got a case. And they're like, you almost murdered a civilian because you were drunk. And he's like, come on. And then, which is, of course, you're suspended, right? You should be in jail. But then also, he's at the same time inexplicably harsh on his partner who had nothing to do with it and wasn't even there.
Right. just for not even watching over him, for not
babysitting this like degenerate partner.
Which that also happens in The Wire. Bunk does get in a lot of trouble for not babysitting McNulty when McNulty goes off the beaten path, because he knows McNulty's doing shit he shouldn't do, and Bunk doesn't stop him, so Bunk gets in trouble with McNulty. That's what happens.
The chief also explains that the forensics guy is also being suspended, but he doesn't explain why, or why he knows. He explains why he's, he knows that they met, and he explains, that's why he's being suspended, but he doesn't explain how he knows any of that, and it doesn't really come up, I don't think. But
no.
Anyway, another random teen, is in the shower and is murdered. She gets clowned in the shower. So more boobies.
Can we talk about her showering method? I was slightly confused by this, but it inspired me.
Okay.
The way she's showering is she has a bar of soap sitting on a shelf, and then she rubs the bar of soap with her hand, and then rubs, I guess, what comes off of that over her body. That's not a technique I've been familiar with. I've been familiar with rubbing a bar of soap on yourself, rubbing a bar of soap on a rag, or I'm a liquid soap on a loofah type of fella.
Okay. I do what she does.
Okay.
I'm just going to say.
Okay.
I do not, and my wife, and I've done this my whole life, and I'm just a white trash Neanderthal. I don't know, but I never use a washcloth.
Okay.
Or a loofah or anything. Nor do I rub the bar of soap on me. I just lather up my hands. I wash my body like I wash my hands.
Yeah.
So you know how you rub your hands in the soap, get your hands all soapy, and then rub them together?
Yeah.
I just do that, but I get a bunch of soap on my hands.
Yeah.
And I just wash my body.
I guess it stuck out to me because this scene is not sexy despite the nudity. And the way it's just the way she's going about doing this rubbing the hand thing. Like, it's not like it should be like full of bubbles and like lots of soap. And like, it's a hyper realistic shower scene. Yeah, it's a hyper realistic one. And what inspired me is I decided if I ever get behind the camera again and direct a horror movie, I'm going to shoot a shower scene like this, except I'm just going to have the actress stick the bar of soap straight up her ass, like full bar up. And just be like complete like trash about the way she washes herself.
Yeah. Just be like, I'll coach this person on how to do it. You just get the bar of soap, rub it in your hair.
Yeah.
And then just do, not even shampoo. Just be a total dirtbag about it. Like, I like that. I like the ultra realistic shot. Like, have them like put their leg up on the side, spread their cheeks, and just really go to town on their ass.
Just credit card themselves with the bar of soap. Like,
just a grimy, not a sexy shower, just a grimy, down and dirty. Yeah.
The least sexy scene you can think of. And then she doesn't wash her legs.
Pop a pimple, like just like itch your ass crack, the whole thing.
Yeah. Check the smells. Like, do the smells with the finger.
Piss in the shower. Just piss in the shower. How come nobody in movies ever pisses in the shower? I piss in the shower pretty much every time I get in the shower.
I know. Same.
Oh man. Normalize pissing in the shower, guys. That's what I'm
It's gonna be pissing more.
Yeah. So yeah, clown kills her. I will say though, a lot of the murders are, although you don't see a ton of gore, there's a lot of blood. You don't see a lot of gore until like the after effects when they find corpses. But they are pretty brutal. Like, they just definitely went out of their way to try to make as a low budget brutal kill as you can.
Right.
Not only that, but then the mom walks in and it's a pretty cool shot. You just see right down like a hallway, and then you hear in there, she's screaming or whatever. And then the mom comes over. It's like, what's going on in there? You don't see it. You just see her walk in, open the curtain. You assume she opens the curtain, hear her open the curtain, scream, and then come out. And then you see the clown grab her and like drag her in by her ankles to the bathroom. So
also she comes when she comes out, like, it kind of looks like her face has been cut off as well. Like
oh yeah, she's already been attacked.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a reminiscent of the Texas Chainsaw, the door slam kind of scene. You know what I mean? It's like that static shot. Snap back over to our party, Carla and our rest of our party teens, and we have another one. I didn't remember her. I didn't write her name down. I just called her White Trash Paris Hilton, because she speaks very much like Paris Hilton. She looks like her a little bit too.
I believe her character's name is Danielle. because
Danielle, yes.
Yeah, she's been with us the entire film, but like, and this is just another little, it's a little pick, but she is supposed to be like our virginal, like a final girl, because she's the one. She's the one
she
that
doesn't drink. Shit.
Yeah. So, but we don't get enough of her separate from Carla. So anytime she's in a scene with Carla obviously stands out. So we don't know that.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So we don't know that we're actually supposed to be rooting for Danielle. And maybe that's just a personal thing for Brian and I, because we're for sure rooting for Carla. She's like, get your hands off me, asshole.
Well, it just seems more like,
hey, he's got smoke.
It's the Carla and Danielle. Yeah. Hey, can I get Lucy?
Hey.
But like the Danielle is definitely supposed to be who the final girl is. Yeah, she's not standing out enough right off the bat. But then you start to see like, okay, and then there's the other girl who doesn't really have you don't really know anything about her. And she's the one who's trying to bang her boyfriend. And then Carla's the one who's trying to get fucked up and rip cigs and chug rum and stuff. So they're obviously getting set up to be killed. So the party teens are prepping for the party at this point. So you're getting little glimpses of them. The leather daddy, he explains that Gerald's daughter died because he was falsely, like I said, accused of molesting his daughter, and then she ended up in the orphanage or whatever. And then those were the pics at the crime scene, were of the daughter and stuff like that. There is a lot of movie left, I will say at this point, like really a lot. So the detective gets like a message in blood at his house, says, "How's your daughter, detective?" So he's like, "Oh no, he's got my daughter." So he calls the estranged wife. He's like, "Where's she at?" She's like, "She's fine. She's at my mom's house." And he's like, "All right, you need to pack and get out of there." And she's like, "Go fuck yourself." And then she's like, "Oh, it's Cop at the door. I need to go let Cop in." He's like, "Don't open the door," And Walter, she calls him. Of course, she doesn't call him Cop. But and then she hangs up on him, says, "Go fuck yourself." He grabs a shotgun. He's going to go over there and figure stuff out. He goes to Jenny's, and Trenchcoat is already, aka Cop, is already there, laying there dying. And he is like, "You were right the whole time. I should have listened to you." And he's got 3 more sacrifices to make. And we're like, "Bitch, how do you know that?"
Yeah. Who told you
that? Did
he
tell you that? He's his non-talking clown boy. But then he confesses that he ran away 10 years ago. So like, that's why he died, is because he was a coward or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's pretty chatty for someone who's taking his last breaths, literally.
Hey,
and the wife is missing.
Yeah. Let it all out. Get everybody out there. But then, get everything out there. But then also, you're going to die real quick. So it's just like, race to the end. Hey, all this exposition you need to know.
So then he goes, I guess, to the orphanage.
Yeah.
And then but I still don't fully understand what the orphanage has to do with anything. I know that the daughter went to the orphanage, but she didn't die at the orphanage, right? She died in a drunk driving accident or something.
This is
a drunk driver smashed into the orphanage. I don't know.
He just ramped it up in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was that and this might just be like a confusing thing, or like another thing they did of like a cover up, but that it doesn't get explained very well. Because I thought it was that she goes to the orphanage and then goes to a foster family and then it gets killed in a drunk driving accident.
Okay.
But also apparently the killer goes to the orphanage and maybe did some killing. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's a little confusing. In any case, it doesn't really matter. They go to the orphanage, and forensics guy's already there, and he knows all about the 7 sacrifices, and he explains that he's trying to bring his daughter's soul back. That's the killer's motivation. Then the other cops show up, and they show up back at Jenny's house. They find Trenchcoat Cop dead, and they think that Leather Daddy did it. So it's like all points bulletin out. We got to get Leather Daddy. He's in trouble. Leather Daddy and the forensics guy, they now they go to the orphanage or they're going into the orphanage. And he's like, they know it's, he's like, what if it's a trap? So forensic guy goes, Leather Daddy goes, I know it's a trap. And I'm not leaving until that bastard is dead. Like he does a lot of lines like that. And then he's like, all right, lock the door behind me too. It's like, I don't know. It's all these very, and then forensics guy's going to go around the other side. So he's not with him. So, forensics guy is up to something, but you don't know exactly what. And forensic guy gets a knife in the leg pretty quickly.
No. No.
What's he get in the leg?
This was just a silly thing that I thought happened, but I liked it just because it made me laugh. But it seems like he gets bonked from behind by the clown and then just falls on some broken glass in the parking lot. And then just like gets up.
He had something stuck in his leg, but you did not see the incident that resulted in the thing in his leg. Not that I missed it. It literally was not on screen.
Right. Yeah. Which is why it plays out like he gets bonked from behind, falls in broken glass, and then just looks like he rolls over and you see like the broken glass sticking out of his leg, which he pulls out. But it's just like
I thought it was a hunk of metal.
It might have been a hunk of metal.
That's why I thought it was like a broken off knife blade or something.
Yeah.
But
either way, it's just like I fell in this. Oh, that's so bad. Oh,
ow. Well, so here's the thing. We already said that him and forensics guy are in cahoots with each other. So why did he do anything to him?
Well, no, they're not.
Why did clown?
It's not that they're in cahoots. It's just that the coroner is supporting him in completing the mission. They're not in
cahoots.
Yeah. But like
he's just running interference kind of for him.
Yes, that's what it is. But
okay.
I don't.
Gotcha.
The coroner has never met with the Ripper and been like, "Oh, Daddy, let's bring her back."
Yeah. Okay. They don't show anything like that, but obviously he's supporting his cause, So I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did like this. So when the forensic guy gets the knife in his leg, and then the whatchamacallit is there, the clown is there, and he just goes, no. There's this very not very heartfelt no, which I liked a lot. And that's important because it shows us that he didn't like it. He didn't like that he got the thing stick to his leg.
It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt, and he didn't like it. They find Jenny like upstairs, and she's up there, and Clown Boy's got this whole like little ritual shrine thing situation up there in the orphanage. And then he turns around, and Jenny's been stabbed. This guy, the clown guy, is a straight ninja.
Quiet.
Like no one ever sees him coming. He sneaks up behind people when people are looking directly at that other person.
Yeah.
Like he just hides himself in perfect silhouette of any person and then pops up behind them. In this instance, he's like, Jenny, I'm going to get you out of here. Turns for 1 second, turns around. He's standing behind him like Undertaker style. He basically does this Undertaker move over and over and over again. Stabs Jenny.
Yeah. For being a guy who like is just a guy, he's definitely put in like his 10,000 hours for this one skill of being able to sneak up, like, because he's Solid Snake. And then
I literally wrote down he's the Solid Snake of clowns.
Yeah. He's Solid Snake and like just gets away with it. But like he's put in the 10,000 hours. Like he got all those 23 other people, 22, and then the 23rd alerted the police, I assume. So he, he did like 23 out of 20 or 22 out of 23. And now he's going again and he just gets all these other people like lickety split. And it may be his only skill, but it's his skill.
It's his skill. And I wonder, and drawing pentagrams in blood, of course.
Yeah,
but I do wonder if he, I would have liked if they would have at least thrown in when he came up behind somebody, he killed them by snapping their neck. And it was like, like he went up and just choked their neck. So, kills Jenny, and then the Clowny and Leather Daddy like injure each other in a little bit of a fight. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, just kidding. Jenny's still alive. And shoots the clown, or at least discharges a gun at point blank range near him. And I don't think hits him, though. Maybe the gun's full of blanks. I don't know, but I feel like she's 2 feet away from him, empties a gun, and he's just like, bye, and runs away. And then there's no indication that he's been shot.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, I think they only do like one real gunshot with results in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we're supposed to understand that like she hit him maybe once or twice. Like she didn't hit she didn't hit all of them, because like the way it's framed, she's holding the gun and the barrel is off screen, so you don't see the barrel, you don't see muzzle flash. And then we don't really see any effects go off on the clown. So but I still think we're supposed to assume like she got him like once or twice, because he kind of reacts as if he got shot.
Sure, I could see that. So then the forensics guy shows up, and and obviously Jenny and Leather Daddy are there, and he reiterates that, guys, this is a trap. I'm pretty sure it's a trap. There's lots of very calm conversation, despite the fact that Jenny has died, right? And Leather Daddy is, his wife was just murdered in front of him, and he's just like, what do we do now? So Leather Daddy has to flee because the cops are showing up. You hear the sirens, but he would not know at this point that they suspect him of killing Trenchcoat. So why is he alarmed that the cops are showing up? I mean, I understand that he's been suspended from the force, and perhaps it would look bad if he was there, but he hasn't done anything wrong besides try to save people. And he would, of course, not know that they suspect that he killed his partner.
Yeah, I guess it's even just the whole thing of like, he's going to be the one that's primarily suspected, because cop is dead in his wife's apartment, and now he's at this scene with his dead wife. So like,
so they gotta, I understand that, but like forensics guy is like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And of course we know that he's trying to run interference here, but at the same time, you're suspended too, bud. Like, so you seem to be, this would be a precarious situation for you as well. But he's like, no, don't worry, you get out of here, bud. Yeah.
I think it's just simply like the ticking clock of like, you can't get caught up in going to the station and answering questions. You have to. He has to go save Paris Hilton Danielle before the clown can get to her. So he can't waste the time getting caught up in the fucking police questioning.
Sure. Anyway, back to the party girls. They're being stalked, of course. And then a bunch of boys do a B&E as a joke and just like come into their house. And then one of the twinks that show up go upstairs with someone's mom to bang. Like, she's clearly 10 years older than everybody else. And she goes into the bathroom and basically she's like, apparently he can't get it up and she's trying to fuck. So she's like, I'm going to the bathroom to rip some rails. But when I come back, you better get that shit ready because I'm hopping on, right?
Hell yeah.
So she goes in the bathroom, rips some rails, and when she gets back, there's like something sticking up under the blankets, and she's like, "Ooh, there's that wiener," But the knife it's a knife, not a wiener, sticking out of his like just below his belly button. So
what a
she
dumb
doesn't know
Bella.
where wieners go.
Yeah, exactly. What a dumb Bella. One, not where a wiener goes. Two,
she does not know where wieners go.
Yeah, two, that's way bigger than a wiener. Like, it's just
way bigger. It looks like it's 1.5 feet long.
Yeah, like she should know how big his dick is, and she should know that it's not that big. Like,
it's not that big, and that ain't where it goes. But she's like, "Ooh, yay!" And then she reaches under to grab it, and it's a knife. So there you go.
And you know how we know? And also, you know how we know his wiener isn't that big is when she reveals the knife. His fucking package is in frame, and it's just it doesn't imply 1.5 feet. Like, I'm not trying to call him small dick or anything. I'm not trying to be that kind of rude. Yeah. But it just does not imply, like, it should be like out the leg of his boxers if it was that big.
She should not have assumed that.
Yeah.
That was a miscue from her. And then now the clown has a chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
Just out of nowhere. He's stealthy. He's solid snaked up to this point, but now he's got a chainsaw and he just tears into her with the chainsaw. He's just like sawing into her belly and there's blood flying everywhere and all this stuff. And then all the others are downstairs and they hear all this, which again, they hear like a 2-stroke engine revving and shrieks and screams and splattering noises. And they're like, whoa, sex sounds.
But also they hear that sick synthwave track too. So
yeah, they do hear that. But I did find it entertaining that they hear a revving engine and screams. And they're like, whoa, that's some crazy sex they're having up there.
Brian, don't you remember dildos was gas powered back in the 80s?
Yeah, you needed a half a can of WD-40 just to get and go.
Yeah.
But so you do get an underwater shot of the girl getting drowned in the sink, which I liked. Quick little one. Lots more unnecessary wigs. There's one of the teen boys who did the B&E is wearing like a Beatles wig for some reason. It's a like Halloween store Beatles wig.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. It's so silly.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, it looks like he's in like shitty witness protection because he has this bad wig, but also is wearing like big aviators. So he's like, it's like he's in disguise trying to hide.
Like they did in the 80s.
Yeah.
Beatles wigs and aviators, that classic 80s look.
It's like he's ashamed of being in the movie is what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble if somebody sees me in this movie, so I need to do this.
I can't be near boobs or else I'll get yelled at.
I can't be near boobs. The teens, like I said, are all getting picked off, and then Big Dick Johnny from earlier shows up and he's drunk as a skunk. This is when she goes out, and this is Danielle's ex-boyfriend. Danielle's like, what are you doing? And he's like, you're a bitch. And he's chugging booze and stuff. And then this is when they're just out in the front, on the front walkway. And all of a sudden, this giant clown just pops up from behind him. So the only explanation is that he was stumbling in perfect tandem with him and hiding his limbs behind his limbs the whole time. And he was like acting as his shadow the entire time because he just pops up behind him and she did not see that coming. But he runs Johnny through with his big knife. So Johnny's all fucked up. And then she, of course, is now alerted to some nastiness that's happening here. Right.
I had a bit of a like nostalgia memory in this because the clown stabs, Long Island white trash through the back. And you're supposed to see like the blood spray from his body onto Paris Hilton's face and everything. And you kind of see the after effects of like it landing on her face, but you don't see the blood in the light. And this was something that happened when I was doing my junior film. Is we were filming outside, and it was supposed to be like a blood geyser. So like I was laying on a picnic table behind the person who was getting killed, and then shooting a blood geyser up from behind them. And then it just never read on camera because like it's so hard to get like that fine mist spray to read on camera. But yeah.
Yes, I could see that.
I was just completely reminded of that. I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. That didn't fucking work for me either.
You fell in that same pitfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then when she comes inside, her face is all covered in blood, and you're like, we didn't really see that happen.
Yeah.
But they do run back inside. They're like, oh no, they run back inside. And then one of the friends falls out of the closet. So it's a little bit of a Halloween, haunted house type situation there. They're running about screaming. And I'm actually at this point had forgot that Carla is still in the movie and is still alive. Blown away that she survived this long. Love that for her. The forensic guy shows up. He's got the shotgun now. And they're like stuck in the closet and they think it's the clown coming in. It's the forensic guy. He's like, I'm here to help, whatever. And they're like, who's that guy? And he's like, hey, he's a psychopath. That was his only response. But then, just as he says that, he kills the lights. So the clown has apparently killed the lights at this point, stabs the forensic guy, and then all of a sudden now, Leather Daddy shows up, and this is when I still don't I really don't understand the motivation of the killer at this point. It's when I really started to question the whole thing about he wants to bring his daughter back, but also revenge, and like exactly for what? Because he killed those people 10 years ago, and is this revenge again? And how is there 25 minutes left? Like those were all of my questions at this juncture in the movie. There's a lot of time left, and there's a lot still to happen. I wouldn't say a lot to happen, but there's a lot of time left in the film. He argues with the dying forensic guy, and then he's like, just kidding. He's an accomplice of the clown, or is he the clown, or are there two clowns? That's what I wrote.
Or are there two clowns?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure at this point. Yeah. And then he shoots Leather Daddy in the shoulder.
Right.
So there was something up with the forensics guy the whole time. But you're like, hey, he's got stabbed a couple times. He's probably still up to something, but he's clearly not the clown. And like, unless he's pulling a stew from Scream and letting himself get stabbed to be convincing, that doesn't seem right.
Unless he was doing a copycat that the other clown didn't realize, just like in Camp Blood Lake 666, where there was two clowns.
Yes. Two clowns, and one of them was a copycat.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a copycat of a murder who's a copycat that happens to show up at the same place. That would be like somebody who's cosplaying Superman show up on the scene of Superman fighting like a super villain.
Right. Yeah.
And try to get involved.
Yeah.
But anyway, he does explain the whole thing about like his girlfriend or wife or whatever was killed. And, and then I didn't realize at this point that was the daughter that's trying to get brought back. So I was like, is he going to bring the wife back or the daughter back? It turns out it was the same person, but I didn't pick up on that. And I was like, is the daughter a clown? Like, I was asking myself a lot of out of the box questions at this point.
I think it's also adding to the confusion is, so that photo we keep seeing all the time underneath all the bodies is, of this really young girl. And then it gets revealed that photo is of a really young girl sitting in her dad's lap. And the dad is the killer, the Ripper. And he's the one that got accused of molesting her. So we assume that he molested her when she was like really young, like she is in the photo. But it's much more that he did it when she was a teenager, which then explains he didn't do it when she was a teenager because it was the coroner just having sex with his girlfriend, and they were both teenagers at the time. But that's why it gets confused, because we never see, we never are given like a flashback to the time of all of this happening between any of them. It's all explained to us, but the visual aids don't completely match what we're told either.
Right. Yeah. And my notes get unhinged at this point because I'm very confused. At this point, I wrote, wait, forensics guy is the secret son of the clown guy. They've been trying to find the real killer by killing the kids of the people who they killed for not finding the original killer. So my brain had derailed at this point. Finally, Carla, the South Philly gal, she finally gets it at this point. But forensics guy is out of bullets. And when he tries to shoot Leather Daddy again, I guess just execute him. And then they have what I can only describe as a grunt fight. And I think they might have intercourse at this point. The sound design of this scene is unfortunate. They're fighting, like rolling around, just playing grab ass, roughhousing. Yeah. And it's like, it's just a lot of sexy grunts. And Leather Daddy gets all sliced up, and he eventually kills the forensics guy after like a lot more sex sounds. And then I wrote, never mind, he's fine for 10 more seconds, and kills Leather Daddy. and then collapses beside him, in a real Romeo and Juliet type situation.
And apparently
like,
his knife is an extendo knife because it grows 3 sizes that day to go through all the way through Leather Daddy. So you see the back of the knife at his back, and then it's just like 3 feet all the way through his stomach, and then he's holding another foot in his hand. It turns into a sword.
It's a straight up katana at this point. Yeah. And then, at this point, only one that's left is Paris Hilton, and she kind of like plays possum, but then just goes fucking Bobby Bonilla on the clown, just wailing on him with a baseball bat, and gets the upper hand. And there's a struggle for the shotgun, and then a couple lines here that are cold blooded as hell by Paris Hilton. One is, "This one's for my father," and I thought it would be funny if it was this one's for my father, comma, the shitbag who sent a guy to prison for something he didn't do. Like, you know what I mean? Your father was a asshole. So like, we don't have any sympathy for you or your dad because your dad was a piece of shit. And then also right before she shotguns the clown in the face, she says, "Say hello to your daughter for me."
Yeah.
Which is a rough thing to say because her daughter presumably, or his daughter presumably, did nothing wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
say hi to your
and
dead
I'm
kid.
glad you're. Yeah, it reminds me of that meme with the kid in the classroom. He's like, "I'm gonna say it. Do you want me to say it? I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I don't care that you hurt your elbow."
Yeah.
You hear that? That's that. I don't care that your daughter died.
Your daughter died. It is funny.
It's just a little mean spirited, I guess.
It's funny and mean spirited. It's funny also that she said, "This is for my father," meaning, are we supposed to assume that like her dad was the clown at the beginning of the film, sexually harassing that woman?
The judge. No, I think it was the other guy who with the glasses that he calls Judge whatever, because I think I might not be 100% of this, but I thought I remembered that they said her dad was the judge.
Okay.
Now they could have both been judges.
Yeah. They're just both judge bros, just high-fiving, sexually harassing women.
Yeah.
Judge bros.
Yeah, like judges gonna judge. You know what? I like when judges were judges.
Yeah, I like when judges were judges.
I like when judges, back when judges were judges. Yeah. So now she walks outside and just like the sun has come up and it's like, she came out the other side, blood all over her face. And she's taking a rest on the front stoop, just job well done. And then forensic guy comes walking out. He's okay. He has been stabbed at least twice, maybe 3 times, and I believe shot. And he just strolls out like nothing happened.
Yeah. And
she, of course, doesn't know that he was a clown friend, right? That he was trying to enable the clown to do his business. And they just sit on the stoop. And presumably the end. Like no urgency. Like I've been stabbed multiple times. I've been shot. I'm losing a lot of blood. They're just like, wow, that was an ordeal, right? And then they just sit on the stoop, and then that's the end of the movie.
She's making a face during this scene. Mm-hmm. I can't describe what the emotion she's trying to convey. Mm-hmm. But I'll just say if I was there, I would have said, "Stop making that fucking face." Like I don't know what it is, but it's not appropriate for what's happening.
Please stop making that face. Cut. Stop making that fucking face.
Stop making that fucking face.
Then we see during the credits a whole series of scenes that look to be different takes with different performers of some of the kills and scenes in the movie, which led me to believe, and I don't know this, we'll have to ask Louie, led me to believe that maybe this movie was based on a short.
Oh yeah.
That he potentially did at some point.
Oh yeah. That's what that is what it is. It like they produced a series of like not fake teasers, but like just like doing short films. They did teasers.
Yeah.
And then eventually compiled everything that they kind of had produced in those teasers into this long form film. But yeah, they got back pretty much every actor that they had in those teasers and brought them back for the feature film as well.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of what it looks like. Anyway, so that was Blood Slaughter Massacre from 2013. Had a fun time with it. Want to thank Louie for suggesting it and hooking us up. Get a little watchy on that flick. And Louie, I just want to say I hope you're happy. Hope you're happy with yourself. Because if you come back on, we're not. You know what? If I win, I ain't gonna be as kind.
Oh no,
that's all there is to it. I ain't gonna be as kind. All right, so let's remind you one more time. Go follow us on the social medias if you have suggestions for some minisodes. Throw us our way. We got a couple still to fill in for this month. Also, watch out this week, midweek. Typically, this will come out on Monday. Usually, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there. We put on our polls on Instagram and Twitter /X for you to pick what our topic is going to be for the July Showdown episode, which, just to remind you, wrestling /wrestlers in horror, cosmic horror, or future directors /writers, some of their early works. So help us pick what we talk about in July for our Showdown episode. In the coming weeks, we'll tell you what our picks are going to be, who our guest is going to be, all of that fun stuff. So tune on back in. And of course, check us out over on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Halloween's Forever. If you want to watch this movie, Blood Slaughter Massacre, we will, Louis said it's cool for us to post the link. We have a Vimeo link up there for you to watch it for free sometime in the next, let's say sometime this week, the week this comes out probably. If you want to watch it, you got to go over and sign up on the Patreon over there, or reach out to Louie over at the Haunted Hangover and check out that show over there while you're at it. Our good buddies over there, they put together a good show. All right, Steve, anything else we need to talk about here on this minisode before we wrap it up?
No, not so much on this minisode. Just a couple notes of like when we're recording, and it's that Summer Game Fest where like it's basically what's replaced E3. So now they're announcing all their games, and Blumhouse came out and announced like, hey, we're Blumhouse Games now too. And and honestly, I'm not like, Blumhouse films are hit or miss for me. A lot of the games they kind of were showing off look kind of fucking sick. So
what they show?
You'd have to go rewatch like all the, because it was just like a rapid fire of like, here's like six games coming out.
Super clip.
Yeah, here's like 6 games coming out in the next year or two. Get hyped for them. But they look kind of cool. There was one game, and I don't think it's part of the Blumhouse, but it's a game called Slitterhead. And this game looks fucking nuts. You basically play a ghost who possesses people, and you fight Cronenberg like horrors with your own Cronenberg horror powers. So like you possess a body, and then like using their blood, you build like a blood machine gun or blood knives using somebody else's body, and then fight like other Cronenbergian fucking monsters. It looks disgusting, and I'm into it.
Nice. I like that. In other video game news, you'll get a kick out of this. We was at a child's birthday party up at the old Pinball PA in Aliquippa.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been up there. They got a whole frickload of games. They got like 450 freaking games and pinball machines there. It's huge. They have one of my all-time favorites, which is Carnival.
Oh yeah.
And me and my daughter played probably 45 straight minutes of Carnival because it was free play, because that game is a freaking quarter monster.
It was, yeah.
So we're playing for free, and we were just shotgunning some dang old zombies and killer clowns and all that stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Love that game. Listen, guys, remake it. That's all I'm saying. I understand there was not a whole lot to the story there.
Right.
Remake Carnival, please, now, Blumhouse.
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody remade they did remakes of House of the Dead, so why not do Carnival? It has to be like a licensing thing or some shit like that. But
maybe Uwe Boll make a Carnival movie.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty good.
I do remember that game was the first like 75-cent fucking game, and it pissed me off so bad.
It was so expensive and it just ate up quarters.
Yeah.
Like you would have to beat one level of the like 3 levels. I mean, you're dropping like $40 in that thing. Like it was just an absolute ripoff. But it's a fun game to play with the free play. As much as I like the free play, there is absolutely no stakes, obviously, when you're doing free play. So it's not quite as exciting. But anyway, guys, I got them flying things. All right, we're getting off on a tangent here. Check us out next week, Minisode. We're going to do something. Who knows? Check it out. It'll be a surprise. For the Halloween's Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm looking for some skull before I go down to the Wawa, because skull at the Wawa is too expensive. So maybe I'll stop at Circle K before I go down there. But I'm
Let
going
me know. Hey, I got a guy. He got a bunch of skull fell off the back of a truck. I'll hook you up.
Oh, okay. That's good. If I can just get like 3 tins, I keep one in the truck, one in my back pocket, and one at home. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'll hook you up. Anyway, I got a skull hook up out there.
Yeah. Carla's a skull girl.
Right. She is a skull girl. You beautiful skull bitch. Give me the shivers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.